name is Ahmed. Most people call me Baloo. I've lived in many places around the world, and throughout my life, I have always been obsessed with music and dance culture. I happen to also be a DJ, and I produce events. I'm traveling the world to discover what makes cities special when it comes to nightlife and music culture. I'm now in Berlin, known for being the global capital of techno and one of my favorite places to visit.
Berlin's where it's at. My first time here, I came to listen to music, I came to hear it. Berlin is the equivalent of an Ivy League university, right? It's an institution. As a visitor, listening to music in Berlin for 1 week, you'll come back super inspired.
Everyone wants to come to Berlin. It's like the place in Germany to be.
There's no limits here.
Yeah.
And this is what I love about the city.
After the fall of the Berlin Wall in 1989, the reunification of the city caused an explosion of creativity, and techno was a soundtrack of people's newfound freedom. 3 decades later, the German capital has become an international hub for creativity, with deep ties to music culture. This music culture drives the city, and thousands line up to dance clubs night and day and all week long.
I've met a lot of people who actually just moved here because of the clubbing scene.
I'm heading to Watergate, an institution to the Berlin club scene that was founded in 2002. We're here with one of its founders to talk about how it all started.
I've always been involved into music. Back in the days, it was end of 80s, it was hip hop, and then turned into electronic music, went out a lot. The wall came down, meant lots of freedom for everyone in town to experience club culture. Clubs popped up everywhere. And that was the birth of electronic music, a proper electronic music scene in Berlin.
Techno is pretty much like the platform that all of this was built on. So what's your take on that?
The architecture of the city, the way the city looks, a lot of industrial, worn out places, you know. All the major clubs, Bunker, Tresor, Ewerk, you know, that was all like abandoned places, you know.
Yeah.
So this also makes the music sound more rough.
One thing I love about Watergate is the diversity of the music that you feature here.
The idea was always to showcase the top trends of electronic music, you know. I never wanted to limit myself to just one sound, you know. Obviously there was a lot of techno back in the days, and there still is, but there's always been a place for house and the more funky side of things as well.
I really love this this notion of privacy, you know, with the no smartphone rules or no photography rules. Where do you think that comes from?
It's always been very much valued over here that you have your privacy in a club. No, people are not capturing the moments for themselves in their brains.
Yes, yeah.
Everyone's capturing for their friends on Instagram.
Yeah.
And I can just recommend to everyone, like, just keep your phone in the pocket and
I agree. I agree with that.
enjoy the moment. When you come here, you play a special set, you know, and everyone's like watching you here now. It's not like you're not distant to the crowd on some festival and you just rinse out, you know?
Yeah, you're dealing with connoisseurs.
Exactly.
So.
And if you got the freedom to play whatever you like, to really dig deep in your collection and pick the tunes that you wouldn't play to like an average crowd on some festival, you can do it here, and people appreciate, and you create those special moments. This is somehow the special thing about Berlin.
In Berlin, purist principles are everything, especially when it comes to the scene. And like Uli said, all genres thrive in Berlin. As a performer, Berlin just gives you that space to actually come and perform your heart out, because you know that the audience in front of you, they know their music. It's not about like conforming to a sound but it's about playing your best version of your sound. I'm on my way to meet Cynthia, a Berlin DJ and producer who has been at it for years. She owns and operates Elevate, which is a record store that is important for a tribe of house and techno heads in the city. Hi.
Oh, hi.
How's it going?
Very good. How are you?
So it's nice to meet you. I've heard so much about you. I wanted to ask, how long have you had the shop?
I opened the shop by accident in 2018. So yeah, it's a good like 3 years now. I used to work in a record store in the 90s. And then I started some labels with some friends, and we also had our online shop when we sold like records online.
Nice.
And I had everything upstairs in my flat, and it got so much that even my daughter was like, "Mom, if there's one more record coming in, I swear I'm moving out." And she was like 9 or 10 at that time.
Wow.
So called my crew, like, we're gonna open a record store, and they were like, "Oh, are you drunk?" That was a bit of a funny story.
Wow.
Elevate has 2 floors of records with a range of sound. House, techno, jungle, even hip-hop. The spectrum here is wide.
When you talk to other people, they're like, "Oh, you're from Berlin. It's all about techno." It's like, actually not, because everyone thinks it's techno. But then
they're
on the
also house brands.
Yeah, it's
the
a
same
lot of
brands
house
are
stuff.
house brands.
Yeah, true.
The records that you carry are, you know, a lot of them are rare. You know, it's catering to like a specific sort of niche, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it's like heavily curated by myself, because if people like me as a DJ and they wanna start playing the same kind of sound, they're like, okay, just check her record store out, and I know everything she curates is good or is my taste.
How do you think this has contributed to the music community here? Like, has it helped you grow your network? Is it something that creates kind of a tribe around the store and the music?
Yes, definitely. I mean, usually all the like electronic music fans, they meet in clubs, but then we all know it's very loud. Sometimes you can't really have a proper conversation. Right. And I think a record store is another place where like-minded people can meet. And especially during the pandemic, when I didn't have any gigs, for me it was very important, because I had a different kind of way to like share music. So I just created a new kind of community online.
Nice.
And then as soon as shops were allowed to open again, we met here, and I got so many nice compliments, because people said, "Oh yeah, the music you shared was always so positive, and it was really nice, you really helped me getting during the pandemic and stuff like that." And I was like, wow, this is really cool. You know, it's like a different way of
Connecting,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The general attitude in Berlin has been very welcoming. You know, it's very much about community, and very friendly atmosphere, very inclusive.
People are driven to create when they come here, and you can see it everywhere. Walking around the city, every inch of the decaying buildings is vibrant with color and expression. It's also one of the many reasons my friend Carlo moved here from Spain over a decade ago. Carlo is one of my favorite producers and a really great DJ. He's made a name for himself in the underground scene through his music and the community he's formed in Berlin. What is your relationship with Berlin? What brought you here?
I mean, Berlin for me right now is kind of everything. So basically I was in Malaga starting to make music and starting to discover all this world. Obviously there was no scene, there was no way for me to develop anything.
Right.
I was in Berlin before a few times, so I was like, man, this is the place to be. This is where I need to go to really play in a different league. You know, here you have like the best of the best in terms of clubs, artists, culture. So yeah, for me it was like a no-brainer. I had to be here. When you go to parties or when you go to concerts and when you go you meet so many interesting people that they do something completely different of what you do, but at the same time you can work together. There is a link, and you can create something together. In Berlin, it's not only about music, it's about art and freedom in general. So you're gonna meet a lot of open-minded people that they inspire you.
I spent a few months in Berlin working with Carlo on new music. This city has such a powerful creative pull, and so many people come here just for music. Case in point, the Syrian-German electronic fusion act, Shkun. I met up with them to find out what lured them here to make music.
Berlin is like this crazy, creative, pumping city that gives you everything. There's no limits here.
Yeah.
And this is what I love about the city. It's like the audience here is so free, and it's not limited. It's international. It's It's colorful, and it's like you can just be how you are, and you don't have to pretend.
Each corner where you go, in each small bar, you can find jazz music, you can find freestyle hip hop, you can find anything, and this is what I love about the city.
What do you think it is about the city that pulls all these creatives into Berlin? What is it?
Creativity needs space, you can say. And after Germany got like reunited, there was a lot of abandoned empty spaces. So there was space for all kind of creative people, no matter what they wanted to do things. And I think that was like the perfect moment.
So it's basically like a freedom of experimentation that is very much welcome.
Yeah, when you set your mind free and you're gonna be comfortable about who you are, it doesn't matter where you come from, what do you believe in, you're gonna have a lot of freedom to be creative.
There's something really vibrant and all-consuming about Berlin. I've been here a couple of days and I already feel inspired to put together some new music. You can feel the city reunited by the fall of the wall, and the celebration of freedom is ongoing in clubs, bars, stores, and even workplaces in the city. Berlin is alive.
What I learned about Berlin is privacy is essential. I want to do my thing, without having to be filmed or documented or photographed. And beyond that, I noticed that different scenes have different tribes. There's a big house music tribe, a big techno tribe, and everything again in between. And also meeting people and, meeting like-minded people. There's always rabbit holes that come out of that, So like it is what you make of it at the end of the day, and you have to be open to adventures.